Alright, well. I have this snack in front of me if I need a pick-me-up. But you know what? We're going to get her done. Plus, while I was waiting for things to cook, I took the template of our first level 0 character. Because for those of you who are showing up, we're making level 0 characters. And you may ask why. And we're doing that. Here, we'll reset this as well. In the fashion of telling a noir tale, often it's the risks and the rewards that can make or break a situation. You know, not that you can't have a shootout or something, or an equivalent of magic or crossbows, but it's deadly. If you get into a scrap, especially as a beginning adventurer, you don't even have your first class level. A 0 level character is your racial stuff and your background. And congratulations, that's it. You'll notice this character does not start with a weapon. And in fact, this character has 5 gold pieces to his name at its creation to spend in the store, if that. Sorry, pardon for that quick little nose honk. So imagine this, right? If I am your dungeon master and this is your character, I'm putting you on the mean streets and you don't even have a weapon unless you spend some of your hard-earned savings to buy one. And at that point, a dagger might be at best what you have. This is a player character exercise and workshop, Mendari. This dovetails into the discussion we had last night about telling a noir story. And about creating tension and wise decision making, even from morally gray characters themselves, who may be, they might have a oh shoot. That's one thing we gotta add. Huh. What does this gnome character we generated? What does this gnome character do to, so if he doesn't have a military background here, to blow off stress? Or what's a vice that he might have? And ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have the Made RPG book open. And why is that, you may ask? Well, if we continue down to the stress explosion table, as stress is a core mechanic in Made RPG, there's a really fun table. Not that you can't come up with something on your own, but if you want a table, you can reference Made RPG and roll 2d6, and this is the way this character handles stress, dire situations, something that happens. There's not necessarily a mechanical effect to it, but this helps add to the character that we're generating. Exactly, Mendari. Club, sickle, spear, all 1 gold. No, so he can afford some implements. Now remember, he's not going to be proficient with any of them, but he can get them. All right, let's roll 2d6. How does he handle stress? 21. Gambling. You use every penny you have for gambling. Oh, and daggers too? Gotcha. That's the big money. All right, so with that, we have this chaotic good male civis, which means he's dragon marked. In Eberron 5e, your dragon mark is a sub-race. So we have the core gnome stats, but instead of a rock gnome or a forest gnome or a Sverfneblin, he is a dragon marked gnome. We went through and applied the standard array, and we put on the gnomish stat bumps. And you'll notice this character's only proficient in investigation and insight. And so it's not just combats about which you need to be careful. Your DM will probably have you roll just intelligence checks, because you might not have formal training or, you know, in history, in criminology, in whatever. Mendari, this is a workshop, and so what we role play on Tuesdays, Wednesday through Saturday. We present content where we'll end up making player characters. We'll end up making a setting. We'll end up getting things set, and then at the end of the week, we'll tie it all together in a proposed adventure outline. And then I upload the videos, and I make all that content available to you on Discord. We or I don't actually role play through it. However, I make it available so that if you enjoy this, you can use what we built in our workshop as a foundation and go from there. No, it's not even it's not necessarily a precursor to a larger campaign even. These are exercises. These are ways to open up imagination. Consider the workshops like watching Bob Ross, right? The paintings are a methodology to inspire you and to help you get comfortable with creating. And what ultimately happens to the paintings? Well, that's up to you, especially if you're playing along at home. And then all the content we create for free goes up on our Discord, so if you ever want to download it for inspiration, you may. In theory, is it something you could do as part of a character building for a new campaign? Yes, you could. Right, this is character creation, and yesterday we were talking about noir storytelling to help set the mood for the characters, for the world, for what type of a story within the noir genre do we want to tell, based on flawed characters that have these characteristics. All right. Character 2. We're going to reference... Oh, not Dungeons and Doggies. We're going to reference the Wayfinder's Guide here. I'm going to roll a d12. We've rolled a 3. A shifter. Now, shifters... shifters have a couple options also in Moorgrave Miscellany, so we can open up to that. There we go. They're all going to have something from this table of unusual customs. Let's roll a d6. This is kind of free form. I don't necessarily have a structure for this because I just want this character to grow, and let's explore aspects of him or her. Rolled a 2. A Patron Spirit. I'm going to move this over to the side to easier type. Patron Spirit. And ooh, hang on. I got to make this a little bit larger for you all to see. I'm sorry about that. There we go. Patron Spirit. You feel a strong connection to a distinct animal spirit, which may or may not have any relation to your shifter subrace. You often invoke your patron spirit when you're searching for inspiration or need luck, and you pattern your behavior after this animal. All right. A coping mechanism, a way to try and calm down. I think this works well. There are, with Moorgrave Miscellany, 7 sub-races to Shifter. So I'm going to roll a d7 and let's find out which. We rolled 3, so we're going back to here. Beasthide, Longtooth, 3 would be Swift Stride. Moorgrave Miscellany is an expansion PDF on the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron PDF that you can find in the DM's Guild. All right, let's see. Dex and Charisma increased by 1. We don't have, these are not dragon marked races. So this would be normal in this case. Nor are they aberrant. I don't believe that there are aberrant shifters, as I believe the aberrant quality is... Yeah, it's more for the traditional races. The ones that can bear dragon marks can be children of Kyber and be an aberrant version of themselves. Graceful. You have proficiency with... so we're just going to put acrobatics. And our walking speed increases by 5 feet. So we have 35 feet of speed. And when shifted, your walking speed increases by an additional 5. If you move up to 10 feet as a reaction when an enemy ends its turn within 5 feet of you. This movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Alright, so I'm going to put this one... shifting feature. Extra 5 feet of movement when shifted. You can move up to 10 feet as a reaction when an enemy ends its turn within 5 feet of you. Doesn't provoke. The basic shifter traits which we get as well. Dex increases by 1, so Dex is going to go to 2. Age alignment size, we'll get to that. We do have dark vision. We have proficiency with the perception skill. We do get shifting as an ability. You can speak, read, and write common. That's it. So nothing really notable there. And there's our sub race. Maddie, I bring good news today. It was Siege news. Oh, what happened in the ongoing Siege we've been running, Victor? And hello, Cake Boss. No, the Tuesday night games are not based in Eberron, Mindari. The Tuesday games are actually based in a campaign region we developed last year in the channel. So it was kind of a community ongoing project, and the Tuesday game kind of ties it all together. I'm being told I must sleep. All right, Trust Flump. Be well. Thank you for supporting those poor minis that need a good home. Arcanoloth hype. Yep. Have a good night, sir. Yep. It's a home brew that we made on the channel. All right, does this character have a debt or a regret? Right? What is the original sin that is being brought into this campaign with this character? Odds for regrets, evens for debts. Odds for regrets. I'm going to roll a d10. We rolled 9. This character's regret is you made a promise to a child or a lover that you failed to keep. Good roleplay prompt. You know, what was the nature of it? I'd like to think so, Mindari. I know Dark Wolf is very happy. She loves the core setting, like of the entire region, like the starting area that they're in. Now, which background are we taking? Well, we're down to 3. Roll a d4. Number 2. There we go. Not Aspirant, but a Auditor. Our skill proficiencies are Insight and Investigation. We'll have some tool proficiencies. Thieves' tools and Tinker's tools. And we'll get some equipment in the form of Thieves' tools and Tinker's tools. common clothes. Auditor's badge. An auditor is, in this context, is someone who tests vaults and locks to make sure that they're secure. And a pouch with 5 gold pieces in it. Our feature is Keeper of the Vaults. You have an excellent memory for traps and security structures and can always recall the general construction of such apparatus, including their triggers. You can also find blueprints of a specific trap in order to learn the details of its application. Such blueprints might provide knowledge of points of weakness, possible advancements, and magic or mechanisms that might trigger them. Your access to such information isn't unlimited. If obtaining or using the information gets you in trouble with the law, your affiliation can't shield you from repercussions. Our placeholder numbers, 5-1 and then 2-2-3. Take a look-see. Suggested characteristics. These are personality traits. Number 5 is our first one. I want to test every limit, looking for patterns, sequences, and ciphers when I'm bored. And 1, I'm always pointing out people's flaws for their own good. His ideal, or hers, we haven't rolled that yet, is number 2. Security. The world is a dangerous place, and everyone should be able to feel safe. Do what you can to help give innocent people a sense of security. This doesn't mean we have to have a good character, even though it says good after that. The bond of this character is 2. I want to help friends achieve peak efficiency. And the flaw is number 3. I'm paranoid, always imagining threats I have to defend against. These are level 0 characters, Mendari. Ah, well, Victor, look, I put my vote in for the defenders, so it seems like I might be correct in that. Where am I in the process? We're making character number 2 of 4, Ivalon. She'd literally steal the chicken off your face and hug it and love it and name it a pun on your face. Are you talking about Norali? Yeah, they do fit very well. Oh, on Tuesdays, level 8. Female character. Ooh, 5875. Neutral. Chaotic neutral. And I don't have to worry about feats or anything else for backgrounds, classes, or subclasses. Level 0 character does not have those. Rolled a 59. She is an adult shifter. And I don't have the specifics, so I'm just going to put number, years old. But she's considered an adult for her species. And so the last thing we need to do is take a look at her stats, right? She's getting +2 in Dex, +1 in Charisma. She's very speedy. Remember, she does not have a class, but it could give us clues into where she goes. She has all these tool uses, but this could just as easily get into, you know, Guild Merchant or something. So let's look at her personality. Pointing out people's flaws. Wisdom for insight, perhaps. Or intelligence, maybe for investigation. Something like that could be test every limit. So probably intelligence is going to be high for her. She does have to work around traps a lot, so probably int, dex, and whiz. I want to help friends achieve peak efficiency. I'm paranoid, always imagining threats I have to defend against. So if we're using the standard array of 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8, (15, 14, 13). She doesn't necessarily have to be charismatic. If she survives some traps going off, she probably has a little higher con. (10 and 8). I think is how this is working out. Now, if you have a different stat spread, let me know. Yep. Hey, as I said, DM, I got up, I did some stretches, I got a snack, and we're proceeding apace. Is it possible to have a character that is non-gendered? If that's what you want at your tabletop, that's fine. So this is going to give us a 16 dex and an 11 charisma. Now remember, 0 level character. We do not get any proficiencies or anything from a class, including equipment. This is it. We have our 5 gold pieces in our coin purse. And we were fortunate through our race and our background to get all of these as proficient. When you have a +2 proficiency as a level 0 character. Otherwise, remember, a lot of these like gumshoe, like beginner detective or whatever, a lot of these are probably just going to be intelligence checks, wisdom checks, strength saves, but there's no proficiency to them. Which is this also the same as wielding a weapon, mind you. So here we have someone that can move quickly, loves getting into places, if only to test them, pushes limits, Tends to be aware, very thoughtful, very quick, but to the point that perhaps this character thinks a little too much. I'm paranoid, always imagining threats I have to defend against. On our team, if this is a team of detectives, we have a vault cracker, right? We have the security expert. Yeah, you're level 0, and by the way, hey, 5 hit points, everyone. Yeah. There we go. Right? 4 hit points plus your con mod. So far, we have the tank. We have the chronicler, who's the news reporter above. Investigation and insight. Traits that are shared with the auditor. But when we're looking at things like the debt or the regret, if we're looking at the fact that this gnome character has a life insurance policy taken out against him by his own family, and he has to die a peculiar death for the family to collect on it, you know, what's he bringing to the table as well? Press access, for one. The press access feature for the background is amazing. And so we have a face, right? Look, charisma 16. Our second character isn't a face. Works with her hands, but isn't going to be the leader of the party in that regard. It could be either, Rhodey. It's really up to you. DMs ultimately are going to tell you what content, whether it's official or homebrewed, is allowed. And what is this character's sin? What is it that the DM should look for when arranging a plot that is going to draw on this character? Things like flaws, and especially the debt or regret that the character has. In this case, you made a promise to a child or a lover. Could even be the lover of, or the child of your lover, that you failed to keep. Hello, Wolfie. Welcome, welcome. Here, let me give you an awoo. And lastly, how does this character deal with his stress? We're going to go to Made RPG for this. Roll 2d6. 21. Oh, we have another gambler. Very well. Maybe these two carouse together. Maybe the one thinks, you know, I have this set of skills and I have this auditor badge. I could easily go into any casino and tell them I'm here to audit their safes, and they'd let me in. I wonder if the temptation isn't too great to do that in a noir setting. You're at work? Oh, don't get in trouble, Mr. Wolfie. Yeah, Wolfie, if you need help with any of that, you can pop into our mentor channels and we can help you. If you propose this situation and you seek a solution, a lot of us can come back and give you feedback on it. Naz, the Knoll Gunner, and his Nashers, aka his mercenary band, will go for their first Merc adventure when he turns 7. Level 7 or 7 years old? Because Knolls, I think, might age differently, so That could very well be the case. That's fine, Wolfie. Okay. Now, bringing this up to 13. Let's do things this way. Female character, male character. With a 74, we have a male character of the alignment 50-22. That's going to be lawful neutral. And now we're going to determine these can exist in Eberron, but let's use the Eberron chart here. So we're going to roll a d12. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dwarves. All right. We can have a normal dwarf, a dragon marked dwarf, or an aberrant dwarf. I'm just going to roll a now, you know what? If we want to focus on Eberron stuff, we might as well just make it dragon marked or aberrant. I don't know. What do you think? Mendari. All right. Have an awesome night. Thank you for stopping by again. We're happy to have caught your attention one more time, and we're going to keep doing workshops tomorrow and Saturday. DM says Aberrant. Bye. All right. So if we go down this road, we have an Aberrant Dwarf. What makes this happen? Let's roll a d6. We rolled a 2. Death. Your aberrant mark caused a tragic death. This could have been someone you cared about, such as a lover or sibling. Nart? Is that a good reduction? Anyway, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome aboard. If you have any questions, you can ask them in chat, and we'll do our best to address them. This could have been someone you cared about, such as a lover or sibling. Or you could have killed someone you hated. A tyrannical officer, a corrupt noble. Either way, you needed to flee from the consequences of that unintended murder. Whew, you want to talk about a shadow following a character through a noir story? How about someone who's already considered to be a criminal and on the run, helping with an investigation? Hey TJ, welcome. All right, so an Aberrant Dwarf. I'm going to keep this open. We're going to get our normal Well, no, actually, no. This is its own thing, I believe. Let me double check real quick. Aha. All right. Yes. So our race is Child of Kyber, and our sub race, in a way, is Aberrant Dwarf. So our con increases by 1. You know a cantrip from the Sorcerer spell list. When you reach 3rd level, you can choose one 1st level spell from the Sorcerer spell list and cast it as a 2nd level spell once this trait, or with this trait, and regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Constitution is your spell casting ability. Sorcerer cantrip. Level 3. 1st level spell. Cast at 2nd level. One per long rest off of Constitution. Hard road. It's been a hard road and you learned a few tricks from those around you just to survive. Choose one of the following backgrounds: charlatan, criminal, outlander, or urchin. You gain the background proficiencies and feature, but not its equipment in addition to your own. So we're going to have kind of a dual background in this case. So this is hard road. Charlatan, criminal, outlander, or urchin. I'm going to roll a d4. 2. Criminal. Marked for disturbance. Dragons or other dragon-marked creatures have advantage on int investigation checks made to locate your mark, and you have advantage on charisma intimidation checks made to influence them, whether the creature has seen your mark or not. Will to survive. As an action, you can expend the use of one of your aberrant spells to immediately spend a number of hit dice up to the spell's level. Add your Constitution modifier and regain a number of hit points equal to the total. So here's our tank. All the hit points of a 0 level character. You can speak, read, and write Common and Goblin. And we get a sub-race of an Aberrant Dwarf. So our Constitution score increases by another 1, so that's going to be 2. We're going to get Dark Vision. Dwarven Resilience. And Dwarven Toughness. Your hit point maximum increases by 1, and it increases by 1 every time you gain a level. So we're going to remember that up here. Extra HP. So there we go. Your knoll was raised by a dwarf. Mispa, thank you for the follow. If you're in here, Mispa, I don't see you on the list, but still, I appreciate the follow all the same. TJ says, I just finished work for a term, and now I'm sitting here and eating a mountain of junk food and staring at a bottle of whiskey, wondering if it's appropriate to start drinking at 3:30 p.m. Well, I don't know. You know, if you do, make it a celebration, and make sure you are imbibing for something that's positive, so you're making positive memories, and for nothing negative, so that it doesn't reinforce negative behavior. All right, now we need to roll. It's really at this point going to be either, bump it out for the background. It's either going to be an Aspirant, and we'll just do that on odds, or it's going to be a Cadet for evens. Odds. So here we have an Aspirant, but also criminal. Now we're getting the equipment and such of the Aspirant. Like that's our main one. But the criminal we're going to be getting the feature from. All right, if we come back up here. You gain the background's proficiencies and feature, but not its equipment. So for the Aspirant, we are going to get nature and survival. We'll get tool proficiencies with an herbalism kit. Languages, any one. Might end up being Dwarven. And some of the equipment we get is going to be a Druidic focus, a Shepherd's Wood staff, so that could be a quarterstaff. So I'll just put quarter. So he actually starts with a weapon. Traveler's clothes, an herbalism kit, and a pouch containing 5 gold pieces. The feature is Wild Hospitality. As an aspirant, you can perform the rituals of your sect and can demand respect from those who share your faith, and your adventuring companions can expect to receive shelter and support in any established outpost of your sect through though Druidic outposts are often sparse in what they can provide. Nature itself will also provide for you. When in the wilderness, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 people each day, provided you aren't in an unnatural or exceptionally barren environment. Got a Jet Matty, you like your channel? Oh, thank you, DM Catalyst. I appreciate the compliment, and I appreciate those wake up 5 bits. They've worked, and we're going to town on this. Hey, GM Vault. Head out after their adventure in 2 in-game years. Well, good. So it's time to train, to coordinate. They're not just going to be a ragtag bunch of goblins. They're going to be trained. They're going to be an elite force. Astraeus! Howdy! Welcome to you. Welcome, welcome. Personality trait 1. Well, we got to gen up some personality traits. 7 and 5. And then let's gen up our ideal bond and flaw. 4, 4, 5. Oops. And Goblin Nobility is here. Howdy. We actually have a character that can speak Goblin. Though he's an Aberrant Dwarf. Yeah, we're talking the Dungeons and the Dragons. All right, so as an aspirant here, we have our personality traits 7 and 5. I model my behavior on a particular animal. I wonder which one we could choose. 5, I prefer to sleep under the open sky. Oh, that's nice. Ideal number 4. Order. Protect the natural world from threats that come from beyond reality, such as aberrations, fiends, and other things with no place in the world. Bond number 4. It's my duty to care for commoners and show them the right path. And what is this character's flaw? Because we are all flawed characters, not just these ones that we're generating. I never back down from a challenge. Ooh, that can get dangerous. Now, this character does get some of the benefits from the criminal background. So let's go to Chapter 4 very quickly. And Charlatan, Criminal. We get Deception and Stealth. As well as the Criminal Contact. Here we are. We have someone who wants to preserve nature, wants to show someone the right path, but sometimes you gotta put some leverage on people to make these dreams come true. The kids don't need to know how you got the money to send them on, a summer camp field trip to enjoy nature. But you did it, and you made those bad people pay. Kinda literally for the camp. All right, that's a little darker. It's a little... All right, Victor, be well. Sir Bick, Ohio. Yeah, go ahead, Astreus. So nothing is necessarily as it seems. Right? Look, we have this person who has a slew of abilities here. Has this intrinsic magic. And you know what? Something happened. Maybe he ran away from home because a sibling died because of the Aberrant Dragon mark. Maybe a loved one died. Something along those lines. There's so much to explore with this character. Now, does this character have a debt or a regret of some kind? We're going to go odds, regret, evens, debt. Evens is a debt. So why does this character have a debt? Almost there. Ba-dum-bum-bum. A debt table. All right, let's roll a d10. We rolled a 10. Why is this person starting this adventure as a level 0 character with a debt of 200 gold pieces? Oh, this is roll again. It's not your debt. It's your lover's. Ooh. What if then our dragon mark killed our lover? This debt is outstanding, and we are taking up the debt to repay it because it would have fulfilled a hope or dream that he or she had. John, welcome. And hello, Syart. I had no coffee in the house. I had to go and buy some, and finally I have coffee. We've been making some level 0 characters. Strayus asks, do you have any recommendations for adapting a monster like the Ark Mage into a more powerful BBEG? Well, so the Ark Mage is simply like a quick reference for you know, a human that has like wizard or sorcerer levels. You could just gen one up. You could make like a level 17 elven wizard if you really want to, Estrellas. Unless I'm missing something else. Often what I do is the reverse, where I take a monster like a beholder and just call it a wizard, and go from there. That's what I'm working on. Leveling up a PC is easy for me, but making sure I do it correctly on a current monster. There are rules for increasing the difficulty class, or not, the challenge rating of a monster. If it's a human though, if it's like a human Ark Mage that you're finding in the back of the monster manual or something, just gen up a character, like make a character sheet, and choose a spell list and all this other stuff. Otherwise, if it's a monster, there is a step-by-step process you can take to reach the challenge rating you seek. Let me roll the D10 again. 6. You have a degenerative disease that can't be cured by mundane means. If you can't get a lesser restoration soon, you're going to start showing symptoms. Oh, all right. So, the lover was stricken with a degenerative disease that can't be cured by mundane means. If you can't get a lesser restoration, maybe the disease was caused by the dragon mark, and he's trying to cover it up or something along those lines. If you can't get a lesser restoration soon, you're going to start showing symptoms. Tick tock, this guy's in a hurry. What happens when this person is stressed out? Let's consult the stress table in Made RPG. 2d6. 63. Spoiled child. You act like a spoiled child, making demands, well, in this case of the master, because it's Made RPG, and you all are playing maids. Act like a spoiled child. It's not fair. I didn't ask for the dragon mark. I didn't ask for my lover to get sick. It's not fair. And you throw a tantrum. It's not fair, I tell you. It's not fair. Probably is going to end up as a barbarian. Lives in the wilds. Has studied. Has some temper tantrum. Some troubles with temper tantrums. Prefers to sleep under the open sky, perhaps to cool off. So I'm kind of thinking, if we go 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. So that's going to give us a con of 16. That means we're going to get 4 plus 3 plus 1. We have 8 hit points at level 0. This is huge. Level 0, 8 hit points. You're swole. You're tough to bring down. And then of course we could choose the cantrip. I'm not going to worry about that just yet, as we have another character in this detective agency that we've generated. All right, we have one more. We have one more to do, And then, you know, if we want to talk about the characters to try and bring them together a little bit. Flea Brims, hey buddies. There we go. We just one more name for the list. All right. Let's roll a couple things here. Male or female? We have a female character that is a... This is the last one, and we've only gotten one shifter. We have a Dragon Mark and an Aberrant. I want to go for one of the traditional races here. So I'm just going to roll a d4. And if I get a shifter, I guess I'll roll again, because we already have one. So I am kind of grooming this. Oh, a Warforged. So I guess we could put female-ish in appearance. Doesn't have to be. Maybe it's extra storage. Warforged. I'm seeing the follows here, and so Vig, I appreciate I see it in the chat, but I also don't see a lot of these people in the chat. So I wonder, are we getting invaded by bots? Dun dun dun. A Brawforged, says GM's Vault. All right, in the Wayfinder's Guide, there are 3 different types of Warforged. And in... Ooh. There is actually a different kind of Warforged that we can make, called a Dragonforged. Maybe we'll make a Dragonforged then. It's not quite a sub-race as it's its own thing. But let's go for Dragonforged. What type of Dragonforged are you? Let's roll a d6. 3. A Pioneer of Artifice. Aaron was a brilliant artificer, and your task is to follow in his footsteps. But to what end? You're just beginning to master your skills, and before you're done, you want to create something that will change the world. And there we go. There's a lot of fluff to these, and I would urge you all to read it. Is that going to be immediately applicable to this noir detective character? No, but it seems like we got something to do. And if we got to Inspector Gadget our way through it, then we're going to do it. Strength 2, Int 1. Warforged Resilience. You're created of remarkable fortitude, represented by the following benefits. You have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned. Immune to disease, don't need to eat or drink or breathe. You don't need to sleep and don't suffer the effects of exhaustion due to lack of rest. And magic can't put you to sleep. So we're going to put that down here. Warforged Resilience. This is the lookout, right? Forged Scale. Your height is a blend of organic scale and segmented plates. You have a natural armor class of 15 plus proficiency bonus, and you count as both Dragonborn and Warforged. You gain no benefit from wearing armor, but if you are using a shield, you can apply the shield's bonus as normal. Forged Scale. Sentry's Rest. When you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours of it in an inactive, motionless state rather than sleeping. In this state, you appear inert, but it doesn't render you unconscious, and you can see and hear as normal. Draconic Fission. During your creation, you are fitted with a magical device in your maw that mimics the effects of a dragon's breath weapon. You know the Gust cantrip. When you reach 3rd level, you can cast the Chromatic Orb spell once with this trait and regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. When you reach 5th level, you can cast the Dragon's Breath spell once with this trait and regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Constitution is your spellcasting ability for these spells. So he has the Gust cantrip immediately available, which is nice. And then we can speak, read, and write Common and Draconic. Good thing we have a Warforged. Go Gadget Arms. Is Warforged a legit race or a homebrew? It is a legit race. So what did Schulte Boy get in his box? You mean Trust-a-Flump? A lump of coal, says GM Vault. He got... Where'd I put... His box is around here somewhere. Here we go. He got the Fire Giant Dreadnought with the 2 shields. A Goblin holding a torch, a Kobold, and an Arcana Loft. How does this character deal with stress? Let's find out. Let's roll 2d6 as we go into Made RPG. 15. Violence. You unleash violence on the other maids and the master. So in this case, you lash out at others under stress. That could be dangerous. Fortunately, he's only going to have the Gust cantrip. Or she, or it, or whatever. Why do you say dang, Diadems? The background that's left for us is Cadet. There we go. And this will have given us all 4 of the new backgrounds found in this book. Being a cadet is going to give us athletics and history. We're made for war. A language of our choice. Navigator's tools or vehicles land. Probably more of a hauler. We're going to get a cadet's uniform. Common clothes. Military school diploma. A map and pouch with, ooh, he's rich too, 10 gold pieces. Our feature is Pupil of Conflict. Your military training allows you to easily recognize and distinguish weapons, uniforms, military strategies, and important military figures, such as notable generals, both historical and modern. So all the modern major generals. Yeah, it's existed since 3rd edition. Warforged have existed through 4th. And their incarnation in 5th is in the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. It's the fruit company. I know what you're talking about, though, Rhodey. Now, our characteristics. 8 and 8. Okay, well, 8 and 6. That's a little better. 8 and 6. Ideal, bond, and flaw. 562. Before I get there, what is our debt or our regret? On roll evens or odds? Evens was a debt. Why does our cadet Dragonforged, owe 200 gold pieces? We'll come back to this real quick. Is we're exploring our characters in a myriad different ways. Whoops. Actually, I didn't have to, because that's in Wayfinder's Guide. Roll a d10. 7. Your family lost everything in the last war. 200 gold pieces would get them a stake in a new, whatever, farm in Stagecoach. So we'll just put business. Now this is what's interesting then. You were a cadet. What if you were originally a Dragonborn? You fought in the last war. You died. You were brought back, and you still have memories of your family, whether they're around or not. And you are under this impression that your family did lose everything. Maybe that's how you even died. And that's a memory that is still inside your noggin after being kind of like robo-copped, right? This dead Dragonborn put into this Warforged style body. Dark, kind of compelling. And you know what? We definitely have someone who fought in the last war. So what happened? Now these are military backgrounds that can accent something that's already been rolled up, but these are for the standard ones. What did we do in the last war? Let's roll a d10 and find out. 8. You were a smuggler or a profiteer taking advantage of the war to line your pockets. So we're going to put this for background traits. We are a cadet. Who was also a smuggler or profiteer taking advantage of the war to line your pockets. Aha! More story then. We were a Dragonborn. We were a cadet. And then we took advantage of our station to try and steal from a family. And we died doing that. And that memory was our last memory of stealing from this family before the fireball hit. And that regret has carried over through the process of roboticization. I guess to use the Sonic term. Robotization? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. And now, this memory will forever haunt this character. Thinking that my family needs the money. Even though he knew in life he was stealing from people. You know, even if they were enemies, he knew he was stealing from them. And then he died by friendly fire or something along those lines. And that was his last regret that now haunts him, as he's been granted a mercy at a new life. And yet, this last thought can't exit his mind. Okay. Oh, this is a deep character. All right, let's go to the cadet. Personality traits, 8 and 6. I am stoic and professional above all else. Right? You're a cadet, you're trained. And even though you had that moral slip-up that cost you your life, that training is perhaps also stuck in your mind. Whoops. What was that? 6, derp. I even just said it. Personality trait 2 is number 6. I do my best to keep morale up. And if it is a low, I will figure out how to inspire it. His ideal is 5. Glory. Those destined for victory make history. And those who make history Rule the world. Maybe that's why he decided to kick in some poor family's door then. He got a little bit on the we're winners. Well, Fispy, I appreciate the follow. I don't see Fispy in chat, and I kind of wonder if we're getting a string of bots. But Fispy, if you're out there, hey, say something. Be a part of the conversation. All right, our bond is number 6. I am destined to be a hero, and I will be nothing less than that, or die trying. Well, he's died once, and you know what? This could happen again. Given a second chance, these kind of clinging, cloying memories are haunting this second chance Dragonborn, and he wants to try and keep morale high as well. Poor guy. Oh my gosh. Or I guess girl-ish in this case. And the flaw is number 2. I never wanted to be a soldier and have no taste for fighting. All right, so we want the glory. Right? We want the glory. What might have happened in this case is we have an heiress to a Dragonborn family, right? So originally like a noble background. However, you know, 3rd, 4th kid, you're not inheriting land, and whatever, your brother, sister already went to go, you know, to be a part of the monastery, and so it's up to you to join the military. And so you did, hoping your position of privilege would allow for maybe easier, you know, like I'll make a name for myself, and, you know, my dad and mom will pull some strings, so I won't really see frontline combat. You know, you run in, and this is what happens, right? You want to assert your power. You try, you know, you want to be stoic and professional. Of course, I'm above all this. I'm a noble. And yet, let's see what the alignment is. 1755. Neutral good. All it took was that one slip up. Oh, Rhodey, thank you so much. All it took was that one slip up to be forever haunted by those memories. Rhodey, enjoy your guac. And there we have it, everyone. We've gone through, we've traveled down some different paths as we've been telling some impulsive storytelling. This hasn't, I didn't want this to be a focused by memorized rote character building. I have a PDF open, and yeah, you could argue that we could fill it in, but I don't think that's necessary. I wanted this to be a little bit more freeform. I liked the freedom to just adapt on the fly and to try and generate these characters in a way that made sense, building layer by layer. Oh, you know what? We got to give her some the standard array here. So she was a soldier of some kind. Stoic, professional. I do my best to keep morale up. So that's probably like a strength charisma. I'm destined for glory, to make history, destined to be a hero. I never wanted to be a soldier, and I have no taste for fighting. You lash out at others. You're a smuggler, a profiteer, taking advantage of the war. Charisma is definitely a big part of this character. Those destined for victory make history, and those who make history rule the world. I'm destined to be a hero and will be nothing less than that or die trying. I never wanted to be a soldier and have no taste for fighting. So while we do get the bump to strength, I almost think she's going to be more of a Dex Charisma person. Dex, Charisma, Wisdom, or Intelligence. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. So that's going to give us a 10 strength, but proficiency in athletics. And a 14 in history, or a 14 in intelligence with a specialty in history. I think that works out. Now, what will she go into from here? I don't know. But we're not going to tell that story just yet, because we have to give her exposure to various influences. Cadet's uniform, pupil of conflict. I'm stoic and professional. What a mix. What a mix of people here. Oh, no, Grimvex, you don't need to apologize about it. You're perfectly fine. Yeah, you're fine. You lurk away. All right. I like it. I got to get up and I'm going to take another stretch break and get something to drink. And when we come back, now that we've thrown the prompts, right? They're up there. Let's take a little bit of time and talk about the characters and maybe compare and contrast, maybe clean this up. Look at them as a team and how it is that they got to be detectives or a team together. What will bring this this group of people together? So I'll be back shortly. Go ahead and lurk, get up, stretch yourselves, get a snack or a drink, and we'll be right back.